let's start with what is Menta and talk about the need.
Okay, we're a Fintech company. I'm the co-founder. I've been in compliance, operation, and strategy for over a decade. We saw the need because we doing our due diligence from our own personal experience, identified that over 60 million adults don't have access to customary lending products, and then a quarter of the adults in the U.S. are underbanked. So we felt that we could provide something for the people.
Got it. So let's talk about how Menta is different from, I guess, existing solutions out there, and what you propose as the value proposition to your users.
Sure. So we're different because we understand the space. We come from the space. We've had experience being underbanked ourselves, and we know we've gotten ourselves out of the that percentage per se. And so we're different because we know what to bring to the community to truly serve them and not take from them. So what we are doing, or we're bringing, we're coming with a mission. Mm-hmm. We offer CBL, which is credit builder loans that help build credit, and educational components that teach financial literacy. And we support, and we also support the credit builder process with that. We don't just throw people out there. We aim to, for our customers to have a life-changing experience with Menta.
Great. When did you start the company?
We started the company actually a year ago. Mm-hmm. I believe it was June of 2020.
Right, smack dab in the middle of a crisis.
Absolutely.
No better time to start something new, right?
Absolutely.
Right. Arcady, I want to throw a question over to you. And of course, Agora is the banking as a service platform that Menta launched off of. What trends are you seeing in BaaS, and what excited you about working with Karen and her team at Menta? Don't hear you. You're on mute. Sorry, Arcady.
I think you muted me.
I did not. It happens to everybody. I did not.
It's fine. It's fine. Usually it's my wife who is muting me, but that's fine. She's allowing you, allowing that you can do it. It's interesting time for bank as a service, embedded fintech, embedded finance, and because what's going to come down the road, it's like there are a lot of players, but what's the difference between the players? Mm-hmm. That's a key thing. So I'm not going to define what is this kind of terms, but the trend is all of the bank as a service, they started the main product, and right now they're looking to extend to other product, other services. And when you're a prospect or you're fintech, you look at the different providers, you often ask the question, what's the difference between all these providers? So just to present very briefly what is Agora, because what's the key difference with the other. From day one, we were built in the mindset to power a challenger bank. So we were built for a challenger bank from scratch, the entire platform. And we have repositioned this infrastructure as a solution for other banks, other fintech. And aside that, we have built a complete ecosystem. And when I say that, I built a challenger bank myself 2 decades ago, and we grew it to over $20 billion deposit. So I'm just duplicating the same mindset by saying, what would my client do and what we would do? So that's why we're much more than a bank as a service. So what is the trend? The trend that I see, it's more partnership for different bank as a service provider, and down the road to become global by seeing not just the US, but how they can do worldwide. And when I say that, because some clients will become worldwide with a multi-zone. That's a trend that I'm seeing.
And what about Menta that excited you to work with them?
That's a good question. As you mentioned, Zach, there's a lot of players that are going in this challenger bank. Most of it, they're all doing the same thing. It's what I call the vanilla plane. And I'm not going to say any name or throw any name, but in the underbanked sector, there are certain players that raised a lot of money. But when you analyze their offering, what do they say? We're going to provide financial education. I don't see which one, but okay. And what they provide is a vanilla plain checking account with free access to ATM. what Menta is going to do from day one, it's a credit builder loan. That means not just like how to build a credit score, but really like a product. And that's why we were excited, because our focus was bank and credit union. And a lot of fintech were reaching out to us, and I didn't really understand why. And then I dig into the system and the different bank as a service by saying that was they didn't have a complete offer than us. And why we went with Menta, not the other one, because they're going to day one to provide a solution that is needed by this segment. So it's not just to build a vanilla plain product was not exciting for us. We are kind of also we're corporate. We're looking for profit, but we want to build something which makes sense.
Impactful. And I like that terminology, Valley of the Plain. We call it a sea of sameness in certain sectors. So I appreciate that. Karen, I want to go back to you and ask you, obviously you were in the market looking for a partner to build Menta. What led you to choose Agora? And I guess what did they bring to you that other platforms might not have?
Well, the most important thing with Agora is that they were going to work with our timeline. We like to move in a speedy pace, and they were well equipped and ready to move with us. So that was the number one thing. And then they had immense knowledge on the industry and the tech field. We wanted somebody that understood where we were at and help us also define where we were going with our tech needs. So that was something that was very valuable for us. They had immense knowledge of the industry and offered the most products that they already had that were built. So it was almost like coming to a one-stop shop. And we value them as a real partner. They share the same values as we do, and they'll grow with us. And that was something that was really important to us.
So what was the cycle time? You mentioned that it was important for you to get to market quickly. So you started the company last year, you mentioned.
Right.
Can you talk us through the timeline a little bit?
Okay. So when we spoke with other providers, they had us on a 6-month with the tech, because of course we had a lot of other things that had to be deployed. So on the tech part of it, it was already 6 months almost to even start. So that was a big thing. And Agora was ready now. So that was something that was extremely valuable for us, extremely valuable, because we were ready now.
That makes a lot of sense. And you got a relationship with Arcady with it. So I can see the value there.
Yeah, he's great.
Going back to you, Arcady, how does modular banking work, and what services does Agora offer to enable FIs like a Menta to stay competitive?
So before talking about modular banking, let's take the existing situation. You're a traditional legacy bank. You're working with a legacy infrastructure. And on the other side of the spectrum, you see this challenger bank, which are working with the same infrastructure, but they put like a front end and a certain level of middleware. And you have a challenger bank and you have a mega bank, and the mega bank are looking to go in the same direction. And these two players, they have unlimited budget from VCs or from this mega bank. So now you're a credit union community bank, 8,000 institutions in this country. You're stuck and you cannot move. You don't want to change your core. So certain players are thinking about replacing the core. It's not happening. And I did that in my past. When I built the online bank, we also built the ancestor of bank as a service. That was 2 decades ago, and we grew the business to $60 billion asset under custody. The trend is not happening. So now what is your solution? Stay where you are, switch to another one, it's not happening. And we are coming with a third option, which we're calling modular banking. So what does it mean? And this is kind of similar the previous presenter when he mentioned the API, the additional services, the infrastructure. So it's very like it's the continuation. It's if you're coming with a new offer, which is saying you can have access to all this kind of block. It's like a Lego box with different service. And we do that in a one-stop shop with API. And the banks and the legacy institution have basically kind of two options. They can build. So they define a use case, and it's exactly what Menta did with us. They say, we want to do a CBL with a sub-account created in real time, with in real time issuing a virtual card, and in real time transferring between accounts and with a calculation. so we can build the program with this modular bank approach. Other thing, it's like it's based on our Lego. We built ourselves white label solution like a green light or brakes, but fully white label. And today and next year, we're launching a senior account, and they can launch. So what is modular banking? It's a new way for legacy institution or even challenger bank to build whatever they want. Sky is becoming the limit.
Amazing. So I one of the reasons I was excited to talk to both of you is to have both the provider and the brand speaking about what it's like to work together. Can you talk about how you designed the roadmap together, and what were maybe some of the key milestones along the way?
Sure. First, we had to understand our strategy and our big picture and end goal. Of course, putting together compliance, different things like that. And we worked with Arcady on the roadmap, and he can kind of.
Yep. So there are different key components in the roadmap. One, it's like the viability of a project, not just we need ourselves as a bank as a service provider to check the metrics make sense, the strategy makes sense, because I don't want to launch a product that when I'm saying to power a product that I don't believe in. So we needed to check the business model. That's one. Two, I say previously, sky is the limit, but there's always a limit, the sky. And when I'm saying that, it's like a client can say, I want that, but it has to be realistic, not just on the numbers, but also on the tech side. So when I'm saying that, we needed to understand exactly the use case and to help the client to build it. So when I mentioned, for example, the CBR, it's real-time onboarding, real-time creating of a sub-account, to put the right calculation method to move money and to unlock a credit with a virtual card issuing. So that's what I'm saying. Like the key piece is the compliance, the onboarding compliance. So we are working with a BIN sponsor. So we have to be sure that our client will comply with the requirement from our BIN sponsor. So that's a long process. It's mostly the longer thing, and that's also a key piece for Agora because we're helping our client in this process. So we went through a process of being vetted ourselves. So we're helping our it's called B2B client. So that's a key thing. And finally, it's like over to implement the process with our client on the back office, the cash flow management, the risk management, the AMR process, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a business review, tech review, compliance review, and then operational review.
So it sounds almost like what you're saying, Arcady, that you're ready to move faster than maybe there's some other gating factors in there, like the BIN sponsor, huh?
Listen, the BIN sponsor, it's everywhere the same thing. The BIN sponsor is always time consuming, and you can say that you streamline the process with any BIN sponsor. The reality is each, let's call B2B client, or each final product is a separate product. So it has to each time to go to review. Unless when I mentioned that the white label product, the TIN account and the SMB, it's a one-time review and that's it. So we can deploy that in 5 weeks. Any other project, Fintech, it takes a certain time because of this compliance piece. We can go on the tech side, everything is live. So that's just the other part.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Karen, I'd like to go back to you. Can you explain the idea of a super app and what we can expect to see in 2022?
Sure. So a super app would basically be centralizing all of banking needs into one application where people can go to if they need credit builder or if they need a business account or personal account. And actually, I'm kind of stepping ahead of myself because that is something that we will bring in 22 is the business account. So initially it'll be the consumer account, but what it does, it encompasses every banking need that we need. Sure. And essentially building a one-stop shop with a multitude of products for our consumers.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Please sure. Go, Karen. Yeah.
Sure. For 2022, we'll be focused on our whole financial wellness with moves in crypto, foreign exchange, lending, merchants and marketplace, financial education, and again, the business banking, inclusive of consumer and business.
Wow, that's ambitious. That's all in 2022?
Absolutely.
Wow. And
That's the goal.
And is the idea within the super app to have all sort of Menta slash Agora products within that, or are you looking from a marketplace model and bringing other services in as well?
Right now, we're just working with Agora. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. I'd like to go back to you, Arcady. You've been in this business a long time. I really appreciate your perspective. How will embedded banking change the way FIs and fintechs work together over the next few years?
So I'm going to say something which is everybody heard the same thing, which is there's an amazing opportunity for competitors to become partners. So when I'm saying that, you have financial institution, fintech, down the road, everybody will say that. But that was kind of almost like a gimmick to say that, but today it's becoming a reality. So the time, my belief personally, that the time that the pure competition is becoming the pure partnership, and especially at this time of the cycle, I think that fintech is becoming super mature. Banks, the mass market of a bank, regional community bank, are becoming also mature to partner, and this is related to the budget constraint and the legacy infrastructure constraint. So the mass of this financial institution, today they finally realize that there's an opportunity. So my bet, it's not going to become just embedded banking. For me, it's going to become broader than that. It's going to become embedded banking, embedded insurance, embedded everything. And when I'm saying that, there are going to be also cell phone offering, travel booking offering. So Chase bought a travel booking company. Revolut added a feature, and so for me, it's going to become really like embedded everything. And there was a news. I think it's not again in the media, but even N26 announced for Brazil, then they don't qualify themselves as a fintech, but as a fincare. So there's another word, and they're going to launch a kind of product around it. So for me, it's like it's a tremendous time to be a B2B provider in around bank as a service, embedded fintech, embedded finance, because there's going to be more and more need by a larger market, which is the traditional financial institutions.
Got it. Karen, I want to go back to you. Having just gone through this process with Agora, and as you approach going big with Menta, were there some things, I guess, looking back on the process that I guess were surprising, or something you learned or you would have liked to have done differently? Any advice, I guess, maybe to other entrepreneurs out there having just gone through this?
Yes. Don't get discouraged. Continue to look for different avenues to try to get what you're trying to accomplish, because there's a lot of mom and pop places out there. There's a lot of other services like Arcady, who had already created a space for what we were looking for, which we had no idea about. And had we not, actually he was referred to us, but had we just given up when we were calling the different banks and we were getting a different timeline and a lot of things, then we could have been really, really discouraged. So I would say just continue to look for what it is you're trying to accomplish. And if you run into any roadblocks, just stay focused. Stay focused, because there's service providers out there, and there's niche products out there.
That's great. I appreciate that story. Arcady, I want to go back to you and ask you what's up next. What's 2022 look like for Agora?
Well, a lot of things. How to start? So we're going to announce additional partnership with certain codes. So on our white label product, we're already live on Finastra. So we're starting the process with them. We vetted with another big core that we're going to integrate with them. We're going to launch the elderly product. We're going to add to our platform. So for Menta, they will use it, but we're pending integration with a crypto, trading, FX feature. But once again, whenever we're launching things, we're trying to be kind of different. It's not just, I'm giving an example. There's a trend about crypto. A lot of banks and credit unions are looking to deploy it. What are they going to deploy it? Buy, hold, sell. So what's the added value at the end? Because you can go to Revolut, Coinbase, Gemini, things like that. The better user experience will be the same. What is the added value if you provide additional services like wealth management, collateral, lending, and this is what we're going to plug. So once again, it's like to go wherever the market is going just by copying it, it's not going to be enough. So other things that we're going to announce, it's things outside of the US. So we signed a partnership for the Middle East with a large group. We're going to communicate more in the coming months. So basically, they're going to launch a bank as a service in the region. We're going to power them. We're looking at certain deals in Africa, LATAM. And when I'm saying we're looking, it's like the funny thing, it's like people are reaching out to us. Our focus was US credit community banks. And now we're receiving a lot of calls from Fintech in the US, outside the US. So 2022, very exciting.
And I want to ask you the same question I asked Karen just a minute ago. Having gone through this, both building your own challenger bank and now building the platform, what kind of advice would you give to entrepreneurs that are out there looking for a platform?
Think outside of the box.
Mm-hmm.
There's always people are looking at, they look at the market, they see one thing. You have to think different, think outside of the box. When I'm saying sky is the limit, there's always a limit, but really like be bold, imaginative, don't take a no for a no, always push the walls.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Move fast and break things.
Yep.
Okay. This was a great conversation. Karen, did you have something to add or?
No.
Well, I want to wish you good luck. Taking Menta to the masses, and Arcady, I know, we've spoken a few times, and wish you good luck as well building out Agora and landing all of your new clients and new products in 2022. Thank you guys for joining us at the Big Bank here.
Happy Friday, happy Saturday.
You will.